Hello, gorgeous light being. Welcome to the Earth and I YouTube space. My name is Shayna, and I'm sending you such deep gratitude and love in this present moment to serve you on whatever journey you are on right now. This video is about the truth of connection and how we can tune into our deepened knowing system in order to always be moving in the direction of authentic, genuine, serving connections. With that being said, we jump right into the topic. Connection is our reasoning for everything. We feel some kind of connection to the practices that we do, the beings that we interact with, the actions that we take. When we begin growing, we begin to refine these connections. And what that means is that we become totally transparent in our roots of the connection, in our intentions of the connection. And in doing so, we open up our capacity to be our full and authentic, expressive selves. There's such deep truths in looking at our connections, and they can reveal a multitude of things about our lives. It can be about our insecurities, about our fears. It can also be about our soul mission, what we find pleasure in. And realizing that connection is among our all of everything is beautifully empowering because it's not limiting it. It's looking at it from the perspective of abundance, which is a magnifying, uplifting thing to do in every aspect of our lives. Why I feel that is important to bring into this conversation is because we don't have to pressure ourselves. We don't have to put this icky having energy onto our understanding of anything in life or our receiving of anything in life. So, connections can serve all the different parts of ourselves. Our ego, our soul, our shadow, whatever it may be. Understanding that is key in knowing what is being transmuted through a certain connection. We can look at this from the perspective of current connections that we have right now and at connections we crave in our future, or even connections we've had in the past. These are all relevant because they're all interconnected and tied. They all have a root within our authentic self. No matter how much it may feel like you want to disown that idea, that connection, it still is a part of us. And every being has those kind of icks that it's like, it doesn't feel like it's my authentic and true self. Why? And it's like, there's a message there. That's the big key takeaway, is that there's something there that you need to explore. And this is the way that universe is mirroring it to us. So how do we know when connections are true and genuine? It comes from true deep knowing. And there are a few characteristics that radiate when something is a true, deep, authentic, sustainable connection. It's more of a connection of longevity rather than a passing lesson or a momentary experience. It's called to deep vulnerability. Most of the time, it can't even be put into words. Some sort of resistance that is pleasurable. It's kind of like you really want to deflect and disown this connection, but at the same time, you're being pulled in deeper. You feel truly magnetized to this, but that balance of resistance is showing you a call to exploration and to deepening. Another characteristic is unknowing. Specifically in a connection, when you have this theme of not knowing where this is going to go with another person or what this is going to mean with a lifestyle or career change, that's deeply powerful because it's mirroring the truth of life. There is not one singular endpoint. And when we see this mirrored in our connections, that is immensely powerful. It's showing us the true openness and abundance of our souls, and it's being mirrored in a connection. How that can manifest is that you can't pinpoint the feelings down. You can't put a label on it. You can't really come up with any solid ideas of how it's going to look in your life. You just feel an immense draw to it. That can be with a job, not even a job. I don't like the word job, but an expression, a practice that you really love and you can see providing you longevity in your life, but you don't know the steps, you don't know a lot of things, but it continually unfolds for you. Wow, I'm really loving this right now. Another characteristic of it is a little bit of hiding. I don't want to use a little bit of shame. I'm going to use the word shame. It's kind of like there's an aspect of it that you don't want the world to see. Now, that can be with the whole connection, or it can just be with an aspect of a connection. So we'll use an example of with a person. Say you have you feel that strong connection as we're talking about with a person, but there's something about them or the connection that's kind of shameful or kind of embarrassing that you would not want to be put at the forefront of your existence. That is really powerful because it's bringing up a part of your shadow. It's mirroring a shadow, and it's showing how your shadow is intertwined with something that you love very deeply, that you have true connection with. And that connection is inevitable without this certain aspect. Realizing that our connections in life all mirror aspects of ourselves, from the littlest to the biggest to the they're all united. We can return to aspects of true connection. Now I want to move into how you can really feel that out for yourself and realize that it's something that you are going to teach yourself. I'm going to provide some ideas, some energies that are being called forward, and you are going to apply them into your life in the way that seems fit and follow your guiding intuition about the connections that you need to explore, either now, from the past, or from the future, that are serving you in your present reality right now. Honesty, that is at the forefront of all of this. Complete, true, and transparent honesty on how you feel about it, what you truly, truly see within it, what it's really showing you, no matter the feelings that come up. Creating that safe space to be so honest about it, that is going to bring you the clarity that you need to move forward. Connection should never be stagnant. A connection to something should always have some sort of flow. There will absolutely be moments of stagnancy, but learning how to maneuver through those moments is also going to mirror the authenticness of that connection. There's a reason why we have draws to everything in our external and internal lives. The reason isn't something that's so far-fetched. The reason is something very deep that we will be searching to have revealed. The more that we practice this and do that, the more we're going to have true and genuine connections in our lives, because we're not living at the surface. We're acknowledging what's at the surface, but we're really connecting to the depth and the truth within it. And that keeps our connections fluid. It doesn't allow us the energy to get attached to things. It's all a natural cycle. You don't have to shame yourself out of attaching from things or constantly, point the finger at situations where you're getting attached. By naturally connecting to the authentic flow of what connection is, you are going to be in a space where you're remembering why you don't attach, acknowledging the importance of detachment, because there are underlying lessons in everything. The surface is just the tip of the iceberg, literally. And to stay there is to stay shallow. To stay there is to stay removed. And sometimes we have to be on the surface. We have to kind of put things under a microscope to truly understand them, our connection to them. And that's okay. Your inner knowing will guide you through that. When we find ourselves in these situations where it's like we can't really let go of something, we just have to acknowledge that this is something big. There's something immensely powerful being mirrored through this situation, and I can't let it go because I know that I have to work through it. But that's the only option. It has to come around in a new form so that I can understand it more. That's the truth of patterns. It's going to continue coming around until the lesson is fully absorbed and learned. And that's okay. That's okay that we're experiencing the same energy in different forms. When you get in touch with the energy, you couldn't care less about the way that it's coming to you anymore, especially if it's something that you're familiar with. Realizing where you would like to improve upon your connections is beautiful as well, because that is acknowledging that the messages are being received, that you're aware that these connections are confusing me, they don't seem right or authentic, and you can create space for deeper, authentic knowing and meaning. In connections, there should always be room for growth. When you feel true connection to something, deep connection, and you have that spice of vulnerability, of ability to try and change and grow, that's something that you want to nourish. And the more that you are doing it from an authentic point of view, the more grounded you are, the more aligned that you're going to be, the more safety you're going to provide for yourself to be completely open and raw and authentic. And it is a practice. It truly is a practice. Every moment is. That's all we're really going for, mastering the truth of practice. And practice is, there's no real point to practice, right? It's just kind of like true doing and being and seeing. The more that you can do that for yourself and find a way to accept the flaws that come up, accept the hardships, accept the silly moments, the greater you're going to be at expressing yourself in life, the more life flow that you're going to be able to direct and utilize and appreciate and show gratitude for. That's another gorgeous thing with this, is that our connections are so gratifying. They're truly a messenger. And it's so beautiful that we all feel connections to completely unique things, and yet they all center back to our light beam within, our radiating vibration. And that's the truth of it all. It's how we can work through this reality through signs and symbols and truths, and realizing that all our connections root within. That no matter how different they might play out in our lives or how imbalanced we may feel at times, we have to realize that it's all coming from within, and we got the keys right here. So, the truth of connection. I so wish that this brought you some insight. This freed up some space, some energy, some new consciousness is flowing through your system. I'm definitely going to go to a couple practices on authentic connections. And remember that past, present, and future play. That's a really good place to kind of explore your connections and make connections among yourself with those kind of patterns and such. And similarities or even differences that balance themselves out naturally. With that, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, or even subscribe and share the channel. I so deeply appreciate that. And thank you to you for being on your journey. I'm grateful to be a part of it, and I'm glad that you're a part of mine as well. Until next time, loves.